Now, before we get into the video, did you know that 90% of you guys are not subscribed? What the heck is going on here? Make sure to subscribe right now, as it will increase your summoning luck. It will help me out tremendously, and I will give my best to provide you guys with lots of valuable videos. What's up guys, Ronnie here and welcome. And Veronika has been another unit that has been wished upon for me to show you guys how I built her and my thought process behind her, as I've had very much a lot of success playing her, drafting her in RTA, and I think the main part is gonna be how to draft her more so than how to build her. But let's start off with how you want to build Veronika. So in terms of the build, what do we have here? Now, as we can see, we only have 67 effect accuracy. I will go into that as well. That has to do with our shell as well, of course. But we can see we have Bulwark here, and we have a bunch of speed, Swift Rush. So we have one effect accuracy piece. You need at least one effect accuracy piece. Then we have Bulwark, and then we have Swift Rush going with double HP bonus, and as much speed as possible, as much HP, FRS and speed as possible. We're at 266, and considering that we will push up 35%, that is going to be enough for us to cut in between the enemy cleaver and be able to disrupt our opponent. Now, Bulwark is a must on Veronika, simply because she is able to not just disrupt cleavers, but she's also able to disrupt control teams, thanks to her being able to spread. If you go and take a look at her ultimate, she's able to spread her own buffs, and therefore her own Bulwark that she has, she can spread to your team, give your entire team Bulwark, so your team is not going to be crowd controlled for days. Now, in terms of the perfect build, I would say it would be a 12-8-6 setup of 12-piece Swift Rush, 8-piece Bulwark, and a 6 time weave set. So you will be able to get just that another 18% effect accuracy for you to be able to have a higher chance of you actually stealing your opponent's buffs. Now, in terms of the effect accuracy, right? This right here would make it that the effect accuracy that I need on my Veronika will definitely be reduced. And the only issue that I haven't upgraded it here is because we're in a Latice drought. To this day, we are still in a Latice drought, and if I could, I would. But the most important part is that you really have this on your Veronika, otherwise she's not gonna be a viable option for you. You really need to have the S3 on 2 skill ups, so you have 100% chance on spreading, and generally speaking, you kinda want this as well, simply because of the speed, the S1, simply because of the speed and the turn meter. Because without this, she's only gonna push 35%, and with this, she has the 15 bonus speed plus 10% more turn meter push when she gets hit through her passive. For people that don't know how she works, when she gets hit, she pushes up 35%, and this way she cuts in between the enemy cleaver, and then you put up a soul ward to give your team at least one turn, and of course on top of that steal buffs, and on top of that provide that Bulwark that we talked about to her entire team. So that's kind of how she works. For the steal buff, of course, for the buff steal, of course, she needs effect accuracy. This is why we have one F piece in here, and this is why I say Time Weave can help you with that, especially considering that I don't have this on level 3. And on top of that, because I don't have that on level 3, because the Latices are so hard to get, and they're just monetizing the shit out of them, which is just sad to see. I have this is very important in here, and this is why I get away without having that much effect accuracy, is simply because this on your Codex of Magic helps a lot, right? We have bonus FRS, bonus F accuracy. And this is one of the most important parts here, and it's super broken inside at the beginning of the fight, and then it reduces this effect by 20% at the end of each turn. So at the beginning, when it matters, because at the moment you mainly use her against cleave, when it matters you have a lot more FRES and effect accuracy. You can even get up to 60% bonus effect accuracy, which is mental, guys, which is mental. Then I have speed, self-explanatory, and HP is also self-explanatory, because quite frankly, what you need to know, her S2 scales of HP, right? She gives a shield and she does damage, and her damage from her S2 is pretty good because her S2 does true damage and it ignores enemy shields and it ignores sleep. So you can S2 with your Veronika while your opponent is slept from a Kazuo, for example, and they won't wake up from that S2. And you can also S2 with the Veronika while a Rahu provides a big shield to your opponent that is low life, and your opponent will die because it ignores the shield and goes straight for the enemy's HP. As you can see, removes HP equal to 12% of max HP of Veronika. If I could, I would also skill that up, honestly, but there's more important skills at the moment, and sadly enough the devs, yeah, I don't have that much words. So 40k HP, 260 speed I have here, and a bit of FRES, Swift Rush, Bulwark. And in terms of drafting and shell Codex of Magic, there is no other shell, okay? Codex of Magic is the way to go. It is by far the best shell for Veronika. Then in terms of how to draft her, now there's basically, in the moment, there's mainly one way you draft her, but there's also a second way you can draft her in the future when the meta slows down eventually, when they lower the power of cleave, lower the power of control. I hope so, at least eventually they will do so with new units. But basically currently, in terms of drafting, you do not want to draft Veronika too early. And while it feels good, while it would feel good to draft her BAM protected when you see your opponent starting to cleave early, if you lock her BAM protected and your own opponent drops in a Heinrich, you're cooked. Because the Heinrich is a force ban for Veronika, and on top of that, you probably would have preferred to ban like a Tsukiyomi. Because the Tsukiyomi allows the cleaver to not hit the Veronika, buff up Messiah, and the Messiah cleaves before the Veronika got able to make use of her S1 passive to push up and give everyone a shield. That is very important to note. And then, on top of that, oh my god, Veronika, can you stop talking for real, man? I'm trying to explain here. And on top of that, so yeah, where was I? Basically, this is a big important thing is about the Heinrich, right? You don't want to draft the Veronika too early. On top of that, to be able to make sure that your opponent can't just ban the Veronika and proceed with their cleave, you want to have at least one speed contester on your side. Because if you have one speed contester and the Veronika as your last pick, then he most likely wants to ban that speed contester and the Veronika gets through. Or he bans the Veronika and your speed contester gets through. And he's not gonna have full reign and full control of the fight, because he will get her every single unit go first because of it. That is important to note in terms of the draft. And on top of that, in terms of the draft, I've actually had some games where I played against Heinrich with Veronika, or I played with Heinrich against Veronika, where the Heinrich player lost. And that is, how can you do that? That is if you play a BAM protected Ling Luo and a last pick Veronika. But for that to work, you will need a BAM protected Ling Luo that is gonna be going in front of the Veronika, so she can cleanse the block buffs from Heinrich, or if the Heinrich hasn't gone, she can still, as 3, provide a lot of buffs through her S1 and immunity. And then you just buff stack against the Heinrich, so it makes for the Heinrich very hard to get rid of that soul ward and be able to help your team survive. So these two in combination work well. Now, another way you can play with the Veronika against other units is gonna be if you draft the Veronika. And I really need to. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Where's the settings? Like, come on now. It's just, this woman talking too much. Idle voice, voice volume. How we're doing now? Is it better? I think it's better. Let me actually put in this a bit lower. Let's do it like that. So intense. Then another way to draft the Veronika, and against which other units is the Veronika very good. First up, she's a baddie, but she's also very good against actually units like the Linglo, because Linglo will just buff stack an enemy team and you can steal everything. And on top of that, what she can also do, right? A big thing that she can also do, and is very good against, is against Rahu players and Bolton players that do not use a lighthouse but use a artisan. Because if you have a opponent that plays Rahu with the artisan and he gives a massive shield to his teammate or himself, and you just steal that shield with Veronika and spread it to your entire team, like, he's kind of cooked. He is kind of cooked. So in terms of a long fight, you can use her in that node too. That said, the long fights are currently not meta, right? It's all speed currently. You cannot play turn 2. I just said it right now. You cannot play turn 2 in this current season without speed contesting or trying to disrupt it with speed contest plus Veronika, right? You cannot draft the Veronika without the speed contester as well, because she gets banned. But there's that. And that is it already kind of from my side. It's just a little bit of an insight for you guys how to draft her. Make sure to subscribe. Most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, so make sure to subscribe. It will increase your summoning luck and you won't miss out on any upcoming videos, such as the Rahu guide that is coming up soon as well. With that said, I'm Ronnie. I wish you a blessed day and I'm out. Peace.